We'll chant some of the previous names of Puja Gurudev. Then add one more name tonight. Om Narayaya Namaha.
Om Narayaya Namaha.
Om Nijanandaya Namaha.
Om Nijanandaya Namaha.
Om Nirapekshaya Namaha.
Om Nirapekshaya Namaha.
Om Nisprihaya Namaha.
Om Nisprihaya Namaha.
Om Nirupamaya Namaha.
Om Nirupamaya Namaha.
Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha.
Om Nirvikalpaya Namaha.
Om Nityaya Namaha.
Om Nityaya Namaha.
Om Niranjanaya Namaha.
Om Niranjanaya Namaha.
Om Paramaya Namaha.
Om Paramaya Namaha.
Om Paramaya Namaha.
Om Paramaya Namaha.
Parama in Sanskrit, Parama means supreme. Parama in Hindi it becomes Param. People say Param. Some people who name Param. Param Dev, like that Param. Param in Sanskrit is really Parama. So Parama means the supreme. Salutations to the one who is the highest, the supreme, the greatest, the best, the most exalted. That's called Parama. So our Gurudev is also called Parama because how? We say he's an ordinary man like everybody else. But Parama means, in his case, one who has realized his supreme nature. Because our nature is what? Satchit Ananda. But we think our nature is dukkham, sorrowful. So all day, every day, we go on complaining and we are miserable like anything. People in this world are so miserable that even if you make a joke, they say, what are you joking for? That is the extent, the depth and gravity of people's misery. That even if somebody makes a joke to try to cheer them up, they want to know why he's joking. So one who has realized his supreme nature is Satchit Ananda. He gets that name, Parama also. Because our nature is that supreme reality, alright? So Paramaya Namaha Gurudev realized that supreme nature of his own self. Like Tulsidas ji also describes our nature as that supreme. Sukharashi. Sukharashi means an ocean of happiness. Alright. Now, we are seeing Srimad Bhagavad Gita and we are in chapter 9, sorry. Aha, everybody's awake. Chapter 9, we are. Just now, if I take a little bit here, I'll tell you exactly which verse also. Ananyaschintayanto mami janaha pariyupasate. Number 22, I told you we saw the middle of Bhagavad Gita there. In chapter 9. We'll chant that again, number 22, and we'll add some more verses. See that. First we'll do one verse of Gita Dhyanam. Om Parthaya Pratibodhitam Bhagavata Narayanena Swayam Vyasena Gathitam Purana Munina Madhye Mahabharatam अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वामनुसन्दधामि भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणी श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम
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 अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते
श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम
तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम्
श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम 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 श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम
भूतानि यान्ति भूतेजाः यान्ति मद्याजिनोऽपि माम्
श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम श्री कृष्णा शरणं मम
Now please see what is going on. It is a very important topic which is going on. And in our spiritual development, if we don't, you see, if a child who is in primary school, if he doesn't have aspirations to move up to high school, then his education will be stultified, isn't it? His education will become, stagnant. He only sees up to standard 5, and he doesn't really see anything beyond that. Well, his education will certainly not continue. In the spiritual path also, this happens. And it happens, people's spiritual development becomes stultified because of tamas, because of people's own ignorance and blindness, mental blindness we're talking about. Inside people can, it is said in this world, people without eyes, they see better than people with eyes. We're talking about being able to see things internally. Now we'll see what is happening here. Bhagavan is, in last night's verse, we left it there. Ananyashchintayanto Maha Jnana Yajna. Those who worship me with no feeling of otherness, that I am part and parcel of that devotee also. In that Bhagavan, the devotee is here and Bhagavan is there. That is children does think like that. Children does think all kind of fanciful, foolish things, isn't it? That's why you could make up all kind of stories, unicorn and thing, elephant flying, Jumbo the elephant, or Dumbo. He named Jumbo, Dumbo. Dumbo the elephant. Right? Dumbo the elephant, he had a wing and he flying. You could make up that and you could give to children, Flintstone put his foot on the road and he holding brakes. When he had to mash brakes, he put his foot down in the ground. No, adults know that is stupidness, but children, they will believe anything. Twinkle, twinkle, little star. The cow jump over the moon. Them two not related, Then how did the cow jump over the moon? How that one start? Hey, diddle, diddle. Huh? The cat and the fiddle. Yeah, the cat and the fiddle. I don't know how the cow come in there, but but that is rhyme, No, you could tell children all kind of foolishness like that, and they happily they will say it. Because bechara, they don't know better. Isn't it? In spirituality and religion and all, you have exactly the same thing. But in the children, they are forced to go from standard 1 to standard 2, standard 3. So the system forces them. But in spirituality, who go force you? Nobody. And if you have a big ego, well, you're stuck riding. And ego, there is no dearth of ego. There is no scarcity of ego. Ego is abundantly present. Isn't it? So you're stuck right there, thinking all kind of stupidness. And that is what is responsible for all the fighting and killing in this world. Ego only, Because he has some foolish idea in his head, and his ego telling him, that right, and if you tell me that wrong, I'll kill you. So who is speaking there? Ego. Ego that leads to arrogance. But he blind, and he have a foolish idea in his head, and the ego telling him, man, my leader, my boss, whoever religious leader tell me this is right. Or my scripture tell me this is right. And nobody can tell me otherwise. That is ego talking there. That is ego. And if anybody tell me otherwise, I'll kill him. You dare not say my scripture wrong. You know what the Hindu scriptures say? It says, you study me. The scripture is talking. Study me. Take what is beneficial. And when you have evolved, you throw me out too. Because I go become an obstacle in your progress. Which scripture more bold than that? That is, you throw me out too. And other people, if you say any one word about their scripture, they kill you. That's ego. The Hindu scriptures say, everything in the world is there for one purpose. If the purpose is served, then where is the need for the instrument further on? So you see, you use a hammer to knock a nail into the wall. After you knock the nail, the purpose of the tool is, you don't walk with that hammer all about, you want participate to get birth certificate, you have a hammer in the line. You stand up, where do we have a hammer? Well, I might need it to knock a nail, you know. So you're still keeping the hammer. When the work is over, you put down the tool. The Shastra is the same thing. The Shastras are meant for something. They're meant to deliver you to the portals of enlightenment. After the Shastras have delivered what they are supposed to deliver, you put them down. And so every step in spirituality is like that. When standard 2 done, well, you put down standard 2 and you go on to standard 3. Well, you can't just stay there. No, I like my desk in standard 2. And my desk, they need a window. And when I watch out the window, I just see bird and thing flying. So I like that. And standard 3, they have no window, and the desk uncomfortable, and me going. You have to be a real fool. But the system will force him to go. In spirituality, there is nobody to force. That fellow who is there stuck in ignorance, he is happily, ignorance is bliss. Have you heard? He happily stuck there, and nobody can pull him out. The ego flares up. Nobody can tell him to come out. Bhagavad Gita is one of those texts among our texts, the Gita and the Upanishad. They are to rent us under this ego. You've been stuck practicing some stupid, foolish thing for so long, and you're happily stuck there like a fool, and you're in an arrogant fashion also. You can't tell me what to do. That is why we have such a great reverence for the Guru tradition. The purpose of the Guru is what? To pull us out from the darkness of ignorance. That's why he's there. And the person who has this great ego saying, no, he's a man, where you go teach me? He can't teach me nothing. If people say like that, no, why go need a guru and thing? I go read for myself. He wants to be self-taught. Any self-taught person in spirituality, in other fields, okay. Any self-taught person in spirituality, you stay far from him. You see, Bhagwan Ram left the home and went to stay in the ashram of Guru Vasishtha to learn from the Guru. The Lord himself goes to learn from the Guru. Bhagwan Shri Krishna left home and went to stay with Guru Sandipani to learn from him in his ashram. When the Lord himself comes, he goes to learn from the Guru. And we have people here, well, them greater than the Lord because they want to learn from no Guru and thing. Them better than Bhagwan self. That is ego, you see? Arrogance. Tulsidas ji writes a nice verse, see this thing. Das Ji's words. See how important this Guru tradition is and how it is important to belong to a sampradaya. This Guru has taught to this disciple who became a Guru, he taught to this disciple who became a Guru, and you have to belong to something like that. He says, Guru binu bhavan iti tarai na koi. Without Guru, nobody can come out from the sansar. Tulsi Das Ji, if you think otherwise, that means you have to be greater than Tulsi Das. Without that Guru, nobody comes out from the sansar. First line. Second line. Jau Biranchi Sankar Sama Hoi. Biranchi Brahmaji. And Sankar is Lord Shankar, Bhagwan, Shankar, Shiva. Even if, the second line said, even if that person, Jau Biranchi Sankar Sama Hoi, he be the equal of Brahmaji or Lord Shiva also, still he needs a Guru. If such a person needs, and we have arrogant people who say, no, why I need no Guru? He can't tell me what to do. I go figure out what to do for myself. That means them fellas claiming them, indirectly claiming to them better than Brahmaji and Shiva, better than Tulsi Das Ji, better than Ram and Krishna. Such people will find themselves, they move from darkness to greater darkness, from ignorance to greater ignorance. And that's why you have so much of suffering in this world. People, they just make wrong choices like that all the time, wrong statement, the ego take them down the deep precipice. So now what is Bhagavan telling here? He's telling that those who worship me, the Supreme Lord, feeling that I am no different from their own self. He says, those people I take care of. Now, take care means I bring everything that they need and I protect everything that they have. Yogakshema Vahamyaham. We saw that last night, that's where we ended. In the next verse, he said, there are many people in this world who worship some aspect of God. And in other words, they are like in standard 3. And only this is God. This is my concept of God and only this is God. If you tell me any other thing, and I want to hear nothing about that. He only hold on to one simple idea, one limited idea of God. And he is worshipping that thing. Okay. But that is only a standard. After standard 3, you have to move to standard 4. It means you hold some limited, finite concept of God, and after your mind has become stabilized there, then you have to move on to some greater idea of God, because God is not finite. God is infinite. So you have to move on. So he says, there are many people who don't move on. See what? Ye api anya devata bhaktaha yajante shraddhayanvitaha. But there are other people, you see, first he talked about people who worship the Lord, the infinite Lord. Now in this verse he's talking about those people who worship anya devata, means some other form of God. Some limited form. The person feels that this limited form is God and he was born here at this time and like that, and he's worshipping that form only. Anya devata. But they do it with faith. Shraddhayanvitaha. He says, Tepi mameva kaunteya yajanta avidipurvakam. It means to say, they are worshipping me only, but avidipurvakam means with ignorance. Bhagavan Bhashakar says, ajnanena, with ignorance. Now see, what is the meaning of that? See, first thing. Suppose I am worshipping Bhagavan as this murti. Right? Well, it is true Bhagavan is this murti also, because Bhagavan is everything. Right? But you are only doing that at a certain stage in your development to stabilize your mind, to get your mind single-pointed, to get your mind concentrated, to get your mind fixed, to get mastery over your mind. That is why that type of worship is prescribed by Shastras. But for you to be stuck thinking that this alone is Bhagavan and nothing else is Bhagavan, then now you're going down the wrong road. Now something, it means to say you're stuck in standard 3 and you don't want to go to standard 4. You have to know, after your mind has become stabilized, the purpose of this type of worship is realized. The purpose is achieved. So now you have to move on. You have to now expand the horizons of your mind to understand that Bhagwan is everything. And come to this verse, which I told you is in the middle of Bhagavad Gita, that Bhagwan is me also. And so to worship Bhagwan as part and parcel of me. So it is a journey that you have to keep moving on. You can't allow yourself to be stuck on the journey. So that serves a purpose. And then you move on. Now, he says, for a person who worships some form and he's stuck there and he's thinking only this is God, he says he's worshipping me only. Only thing that he's doing it with ignorance. Because everything is Bhagwan in any case. But this will only be a little fraction of Bhagwan. So he's comfortably stuck with the fraction. And he feels happy and he feels settled there. And he doesn't want to move beyond that fraction. But Bhagwan is not a fraction. Bhagwan is without fraction, you know. He's, not merely a fraction. He is infinite. So we have to keep moving along the journey. That person worships me only, that is true, but he does it with ignorance. Aham hi sarva yajnana bhokta cha prabhureva cha. I am the enjoyer of all, the Lord and Master and enjoyer of all yajnas, whatever yajnas things are offered. In other words, suppose you're offering to Lord Ganesh, you're offering to Lord Ganesh, you're offering to Lord, but Lord Ganesh is only a manifestation of the Supreme Lord. So he says, I am that Supreme Lord, and I am the one who enjoys eventually. You're offering to Lord Ganesh, but Lord Ganesh is only my fraction, my amsha, my manifestation. So I am the ultimate enjoyer and master of all yajnas. So Bhagwan Shri Krishna here is talking from the standpoint of the supreme reality. Then, aham sarva yajnanam bhokta cha prabhureva cha natumam abhijananti tatvena ataha chyavantite. This is a nice word. It means to say, if I don't understand the little form which I am worshipping, or the God which I am worshipping is really a manifestation of the supreme, infinite, all-pervasive God. If I don't realize that, and I think that this finite form is God only, he says such people, they fall. If I insist on being stuck there, chiyavantite. Chiya in Sanskrit means, the root is chew. That is a nice root actually. Not chew, eh? Say that root into Sanskrit. Chew. Not chew. Chew. Yep. You know what is the difference between a teacher and a train? Teacher and a train. The teacher says, spit it out. And the train says, choo choo. Choo choo. And the teacher, spit it. Anyway, chiyavan, from chew comes chiyavanti. They fall. Who fall? Now you tell me. If you're in standard 3 with all your other classmates, right? And when standard 4 time comes now, all of them move up except you. And after 5 years, they go on to high school. Another 5 years, they go on to university. And you still there in standard 3, right? That is a fall for you or not? But that is a fall because, you know, in 10 years or 15 years, everything changed, right? And you become Jurassic. You become outdated, isn't it? You will not know anything which is happening there. So, by not going up, right, you will not progress, you will not go forward, you will only go backward. That is a fall. For the people who just insist on holding on to finite forms of God, thinking this is the end all and be all, and this is the only correct thing because God manifests in everything, thinking that this is the only thing. Bhagavan will come back to this in 18th chapter. He said those people are tamasic. That's why you see here, Bhagavan Bhashakar says, avidhi purvakam, it means they're tamas. Tamas and ignorance is one and same. So they are worshipping with ignorance. And then they will stay stuck and they will keep moving back. It means they become more and more primitive in their understanding rather than get better. Because you're stuck with something finite. You don't want to move along the path. And spirituality is not something you just have to be stuck one place. You have to keep moving. So he says, they don't know me. Natumam abhijananti, therefore, tatvena ataha chavanti, they fall. And the next verse, a very nice verse, we saw this in chapter 7 also. There what he says, Devan Devayajo yanti Madbhakta yanti mamapi. Let me tell you something. These verses are speaking about specific things literally, right? But their implications are wonderful, I tell you. The literal thing is, those who worship the Devas reach the Devas. Those who worship the Supreme Lord reach the Supreme Lord. Same thing is being said here now. Yanti Devavarta Devan, Pitrin Yanti Pitrivartaha, Bhutani Yanti Bhutejyaha, Yanti Madhyajinopimam. Those who worship me reach me. Those who worship the Pitris reach the Pitris. Those who worship the Devas reach the Devas. Those who worship the Bhutas reach the Bhutas. Bhuta means any being. There are people who worship animals, so they reach the animal. People say, Hindus worship cows and elephants and worship animals, so they go reach the animal. Well, that is true. If I worship the cow, thinking that this cow is God, well, in my whole life, and people worship Nag, snake, right? If I worship this snake, thinking this snake is God, well, that's where I go reach. The idea is, I have to worship the cow, worship the snake, worship the elephant, understanding, well, not the snake alone is merely God, everything else is God also. I can't just worship the snake thinking that this is God, or worship the cow thinking this is God alone. Because God is not just this alone, God is everything. We saw that in the 7th chapter, Vasudeva, Sarvamiti. Vasudeva is everything. So you can't just restrict your mind to one little thing and worship that thinking that is the highest. That is where you will reach. This is the literal meaning there, right? Second meaning, let me tell you something. And I told you the implications are far-reaching. The implication is very wonderful. The implication here is, look here. Whatever you set your mind on, there is where you will reach. This is the implication. And so, by implication, now you can think. If you want to reach something great, you have to set your mind on greatness. You can't just set your mind on something paltry and flippant. So behind the verse, or behind these two verses, in 7th chapter and here also, is where you put your mind, there is where you will reach. That is the message behind the verse. So therefore, why do you put your mind on some worldly, crazy thing? Rise to the heights of possibilities. Nah? The human being can rise to the status of godhood. Why are you setting your mind on it? That's why they say, reach for the stars. You aim to only reach the attic. But that's where you go reach. What do you get in the attic? Nothing, cobweb only. Cobweb you're getting. Aim for the stars. So set your mind like that. This is an exercise in goal setting. Wonderfully the verse is put. Those who worship Devas reach Devas. Those who worship Pitris reach Pitris. Those who worship the Bhutas, Bhutas can also be interpreted as those ghost gobbling people who worship. People do voodoo. Voodoo. How do you do? They worship all sorts of ghosts and Bhuta Pret. Indrajal people, they worship all this. That's where you will reach. You yourself will become a bhoot. Bhoot means ghost, zombie, something. So you set your mind on the highest thing. We should teach our children like that. You don't aim just for any ordinary thing. What do you want to become? But I don't remember which scientist, Greek scientist or maybe some scientist later on. He says, man, this statement is so inspiring. You give me a place to rest a fulcrum and I will move the earth. Who was he? Anybody remember? Archimedes. You give me a place to rest a fulcrum and I'll move the earth. What a goal to set. Yeah. What we aim to be. When I grow up, I want to be a newspaper boy. I'm not saying anything is wrong with the newspaper, but we are saying you aim for 100% every time. You may get 99, isn't it? But you aiming for 20%. So, what you set your mind on, that's where you will reach. That is it. Now, from the next verse, Bhagavan talks about devotion, pure devotion. Remember I told you this section is on devotion, pure devotion to Him. And what really is true devotion? A very famous verse, also often quoted. See this. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama,
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Patram Pushpam Padam Toyam Yo Me Bhaktya Prayachati.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama, Shri
Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki jai. If you want to see bhakti expressed, true bhakti, true devotion, in Bhagavad Gita, anyway, look at these 4 verses we just chanted. They're so wonderful. Bhagavan said, listen to true devotion. Huh? Otherwise, the world gets into excesses. Human beings, they like excesses. Like last night also I was telling you, we like excesses in everything. Today also we were discussing that with somebody. The Bhagavan says, Patram, Pushpam, Phalam, Toyam, Yome Bhaktya Prayachati. Those who offer to me with devotion, with love. What? Patram, a leaf. In Sanskrit, there are 3 numbers as opposed to English where there are 2 numbers. Mean to say in English there is singular and plural. Singular, plural. So you only have to learn man, men. Singular, plural. Woman, women. Bas, 2 only. In Sanskrit they have 3. It has singular, dual and plural. So you have to learn 1 extra number. It's a different word altogether. So when you're memorizing things in Sanskrit, you have to have more brain to memorize it. Because everything will have a dual number also. Like Balaha will be boy. Balo will be 2 boys. And Balaha will be more than 2 boys. So you have to remember 3 words. Balaha, Balo, Balaha. Balam, Balo, Balan. Like that. You have to go down, remember it fast. In English, boy, boys. Finish. So here, all these words are given in singular. Patram means 1 leaf. Patram. Pushpam, 1 flower. Phalam, 1 fruit. Toyam, 1 water. Why 1 water? Means 1 drop of water. Then it's like 1 water. Give me one. Nowadays, have 1 water. Like when you buy this water in the bottle, right? And you're going to eat. Give me a water day. So Bhagavan not talking about that kind of water. Eh? 1 water means 1 drop of water. Even if you offer 1 leaf, 1 fruit, 1 flower, 1 drop of water. But the operative word in this whole verse is bhaktya. Bhaktya means, you know bhakti? Bhakti, what do you know? Bhakti means devotion. Bhaktya is called the instrumental case of bhakti, with devotion. If you have to say with devotion in Sanskrit, you can't say bhakti. You have to say bhaktya. So anything offered like this with devotion, next line says, tad aham bhakti upahritam, that thing which was offered with bhakti, ashnami. I accept that thing. I take that. That means to say what? Things that are not offered with devotion. Bhagavan? Prayatatmanaha. By that person who is pure-hearted. Because only a person who is pure-hearted can really have devotion. And what Bhagavan is looking for is devotion. He is looking, you could give Bhagavan fruit and flower. Well, he is the one who make it in the first place. Where you go give him to satisfy he? Huh? But see how human beings don't think about these things. On our Shivaratri night, we're going to 1 whole basket like this. The more we give him, the more we will bribe him. Were you going to bribe Bhagavan or what? Who make them fruit in the first place? You could make a fruit. And look to imported fruit. We go with nice apple and grapes and things. Strawberry. And Bhagavan was the one who made the fruit in the first place. Were you carrying his own fruit for him? To what? Bribe him. No, he really is looking for that. He's looking to see how much devotion you really brought with you when you were bringing that fruit. How much of love, how much of deep devotion, how much of in your heart are you really connected with that Lord? That is what He really looking for. Because that people don't have. Fruit they don't have. And nowadays in this country you could get, you can have it refrigerated there for months you have. And let me tell you something, the best thing really is not imported fruit when you're offering, because I tell in the mantra, if you look at the mantra in Sanskrit, you see people that offer and they don't look at the mantra. If you look at the mantra in Sanskrit for offering that fruit, right? The mantra says, Ritu Phalam. Ritu Phalam. Ritu means seasonal. So you are supposed to offer whatever is in season at that time, right? So Shivaratri time, whatever is in season, you're supposed to offer that thing. Wait, have apple and grapes in seasonal in Trinidad? They have. But sugarcane is people that offer sugarcane. That is seasonal, is good. Whatever is in season at the time. Because the mantra itself saying that. So anyway, Bhagavan is looking for how much love that we are, because He really gets attached to the person through love, not through how much fruit you could give. If that was the case, that means you could buy Bhagavan, because if you have more money, you buy more fruit. If you buy more fruit, Bhagavan will favor you. So Bhagavan is bought or what? You could buy God? No. If that were the case, all rich people would go to Bhagavan faster than poor people. Then Shabari are going at all. But see Shabari, she even tastes the fruit and give it to Bhagavan. Juta fruit. And Bhagavan, and not only that, after he went back to Ayodhya, somebody gave him fruit. And when he tasted so, he said, man, the one I tasted by Shabari was better. So, he is looking, the amount of love that Shabari gave that fruit with, that is what Bhagavan is looking for. Patram, this is a very, very famous verse. It says, therefore, yat karoshi, yad ashnasi, yad juhoshi, dadasi, yat tapasyasi kaunteya, tat kurushva mad arpanam. It means whatever you are giving, all of this, whatever you are karoshi, doing, means whatever actions you do, yat ashnasi, whatever you eat, yat juhoshi, whatever you offer into havan and this and that, yat dadasi, whatever you give as dan, yat tapasyasi, whatever tapasya you do, austerities. Like just now, what tapas we were doing? We walked from Blanchishas to Manzanilla. Tapas it is called. Everybody leg paining, but it's still going down the road with the pain in your leg. That's called tapas. So whatever tapas you do, he says, do it all and offer it to Bhagavan. That is what the Lord is looking for, the offering the heart. He is really looking for the heart. He said, when a person does this, he said, Mamupeshyasi, you will come to me. Shubha, Ashubha, Phalaihi evam mokshyase. You will become free from the results of good and bad karma. Now, I want you to pay attention to this. Please understand your Hinduism. You are not Christians or Muslims or anything else. You are Hindus. And I want you to understand Hinduism properly. Freedom in Hinduism means to become free from good and bad both. You know why? Because you cannot have one without the other. Can you have an atom only with a positive charge? Not possible. So as long as you live in this world, you will be faced with good and bad. One day you will be healthy, one day you will be sick. One day you will be happy, one day you will be sad. That is this world. You can't escape. Nobody wants you to live in this world. So therefore, freedom in Hinduism, moksha in Hinduism is not only about, getting good. And people have this idea about, we will go to Swarga and we go enjoy and go to heaven, enjoy. Have you studied? You have studied, you have heard how many times? Shiv Puran, Vishnu Puran, Bhagavad Puran. You have heard so many times, na, in this. There, the king in Swarga, his name is Indra. You know that, no? He's the king. He's the Raja. You know how many times? See, people feel there is only happiness there. You know how many times this Indra, some Mahabali, somebody come, they beat him, throw him out, kick him out. Mahabali sitting on the throne now. Indra like a vagrant. So how it only have happiness there? So you want to live in Trinidad, long time they say, you take out khaki pants and you put on blue dog. You want to live here and go there where it is the same trouble. What is the difference? Indra have to go and beg. You have to go and beg Bhagwan Vishnu, beg Lord Shiva, beg this one, beg that one. So, in Hinduism, the freedom we speak about is not you get freed from this world and you go to that world, or you go to that world, go to some other world. Not about going to some world. We saw that last night. After enjoying there and whatever, you come right back. Here. It says, Shubha and Ashubha Phala. The result of good action and bad action. That we want to get freed from both. Because once I take good, I also have to, once you take roses, you have to take thorns also. You can't have roses without thorns. Anytime you're participating in this world and you're only taking all the good things, well, you have to take some bad. What to say? You can't just go and tell the atom, I only want the positive charge. So, moksha, you become free from good and bad. Both. Karma bandhanaihi. This is the result of karma. Because in our life, we do good karma and bad karma. We do both. Helplessly, unavoidably. You do good karma as well as bad karma. And people say, no Swamiji, I don't do no bad karma. I don't only do good karma. What bad karma is do? Every day you're doing bad karma, you think it's good. That is all. Everybody who drive here today do bad karma, you know. Just by driving here. Why? Because you're spewing carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Like good karma? You are contributing to a multi-trillion-dollar industry that is dedicated to creating a total imbalance in the entire ecological system of this earth on which we live. Just by driving your car to come here. How does that ever be good karma? When you take sodium bromide from the surface of the earth and you go under the earth, sodium bromide on the surface of the earth is harmless. You take out from under the earth all the hydrocarbons and in its place you pump sodium bromide. You bring all the hydrocarbons on the trillions and trillions of barrels on a daily basis. You bring all the hydrocarbons on the outside and you burn it in all your vehicles and your factories and your power plants and everywhere, and you spew all this carbon into the atmosphere, and you cause global warming, and you cause the melting of the icebergs and the rising of tides and the washing away of islands and all. How you say? Because you drive in a car. You say you're only doing, I only do good karma. I don't do no bad karma. That's why when tsunami come, tsunami is innocent or no, because everybody guilty. You think tsunami selective or what? And hurricane? Not selective. Everybody, in this world, karma, good karma, and in the 18th chapter, this will come again. Bhagavan says, every karma is tainted. You may think it is good, but that also has some bad. So to come out from this thing is what is required. We have to come out from both good and bad karma. Sannyasa yoga yuktatma vimukto mamupaishyasi. Renouncing mentally. Sarva karmani manasa sanyasya dhyatma chetasa. We saw that way down in 4th chapter. Mentally renouncing all of these things and keeping the mind. Ananyas chintayantu Maha Jnana Yajna. Worshipping only Bhagwan. Keeping the mind should not be attached to anything in this world, because once that mind is attached to anything, tied to anything in this world, this nature of this world, it has good and bad. And you're going down that road also. You will be bound here forever. He says, Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. I exist equally in all beings and all things in this world. I have no, see, this is the most wonderful verse. I quote this verse, I will quote this verse hundreds and hundreds of times. Samoham sarvabhuteshu name dveshyosti na priyaha. Bhagavan says, I exist equally in all beings. I have no special love for this one, or no hatred for that one. The Lord cannot be like that. Which father will have love for one son and hatred for the next? Yet there are people in this world who consider themselves to be chosen. Chosen by Bhagavan. That is an amazing thing. Everybody in this world is chosen by Bhagavan. Because Bhagavan is the one who is pervading all beings. I exist equally in all beings. I have no... as a Hindu, you should not think, no, I Hindu, Bhagavan like me more. Especially when I go on Shivratri night and I well off a whole Bhagavan like me more. Let me tell you something. What counts in this world is not how much Bhagavan likes us. What counts is how much we like Bhagavan. Where you count, Bhagavan like you more. Bhagavan himself says, I like everybody equally. That's foolish counting. You count how much you like Bhagavan. That is what is important. How much love you have for the Lord. This is the topic which is going on here. Ye bhajanti tumam bhaktya maite teshu chapyaham. And those people who have real love for the Lord, in those people's heart, I manifest. They manifest in my heart and I manifest in their heart. By the power of their devotion. Not because I have any special love for anybody. The power of their devotion lifts the veil of ignorance from their own heart, and so I manifest in their heart. Not because Bhagavan has special love for anybody or anything. It's because of the power of our own devotion. Okay? So, till there, Bhagavan dealt with this topic of devotion. The power of my devotion can lift the veil of ignorance and bring me into the portals of Godhood itself. Now, there are many people on the path of bhakti. They feel, no, Swamiji, I have done so many wrong things. I don't think I could get moksha, I've done too many wrong things. In a very, very famous verse, which I told you in 4th chapter had come also. And at that time I told you it will come in 9th chapter. See here. Api chedasi papebhya sarvebhya papakrittamaha. That is there in 4th chapter. Now see, very similar verse here in 9th chapter. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Apite Chuduracharah Bhajate Mamananya Bhak.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Sadhureva samantavya samyajyavasrito hi saha.
Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama. Shri Krishna Sharanam Mama.
Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat suduracharaha bhajate mam ananya bhak. That person is a wicked, evil person, but he worships me with single-pointed devotion. Bhajate mam ananya bhak. He may be a wicked, whoever or whatever. See, the word which is given here is wonderful. Suduracharaha. Acharaha in Sanskrit means conduct. Conduct. Achara. Achara doesn't mean achara eating food and eating. Achara means conduct. Acharaha. Then he is duracharaha. Durachara means that person who does only wicked things. Durachara. And here he puts another prefix in front, upasarga in front. What is it? Sudurachara. Man, that man have a PhD in wickedness. Means only wicked thing he does. But he says, bhajate mam ananya bhak. If he worships me, and not only that, he says further, sadhureva samantavya samyak vyavasito hi saha. Vyavasitaha hi saha. Even if he resolves to worship me, the moment he makes that resolve, sadhureva samantavya, he is to be considered to be sadhu. He has not yet worshipped me. You only make a resolution. That moment he becomes sadhu. What a wonderful thing. He said, Kshipram bhavati dharmatma shashvat chantim nigachati. Quickly he becomes a great soul and reaches that state of eternity. Quickly, a state of eternal shanti. Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati. Let the world know, announce to the world that my devotee will never perish, Bhagavan tells. But the one who is a true devotee of God, my devotee will never perish. Let the world know. Pratijani, he means announce it to the world. Trumpet it to the world. My devotee will never perish. People ask, you see these two verses? People ask about forgiveness in Hinduism. But the forgiveness in Hinduism is a forgiveness which is incomprehensible. Means to say, we think, I go there and there's somebody, and I say, I did such and such thing, please forgive me. And they say, okay, beta, okay, don't, it's okay, I forgive you, don't. And one, in some of the religion, they have something called confession. Confession, one man sit on that side of the box and one man come here. And he have a little window there and he say, So on that side, the senior priest, he take the junior to train him. Take the junior on that side. He say, come, you have to learn to take confession. So the junior say, okay. Two of them sit on that side. One man come here. So he say, Father, I have sinned. So the father say, oh, what you do? He say, I drank. He say, oh, how much you drink? He say, I drink 3 bottles. He say, all right, go there and put $20 in the donation box. And don't repeat your sin, Your sins are forgiven. Don't repeat it. Go and put $20 there. So the senior father, he asking the junior now. He say, you get the hang of that? The junior say, yeah, man, easy. So the senior leave the junior and he gone back to the office. So in the evening now the junior meet up the senior again. In the office day. So the senior asking the junior priest, he say, anybody come to confess? He say, yeah, a man come. Really? We confess. He say, confess, he drink. Oh. How much he drink? He drink 1 bottle. What do you tell him to do? I tell him, go and put $20 in the donation box there and he could drink 2 more bottles. Because $20 for 3 bottles. Now you please think. This type of thing about forgiveness and all that, right? Which you see in other religions. And let me tell you about forgiveness in Hinduism. Forgiveness in Hinduism is like this. If you have done wrong things in your life, and you really turn your life to God, and you come before Bhagwan, and you say, Bhagwan, you please forgive me for all the things which I have done. Bhagwan will say, what things? The idea is, you cannot come face to face with Bhagwan and still have sins on your back. The moment you turn to the Lord, all those sins are washed away. So by the time you ask for forgiveness, he goes say, for what? There's nothing to forgive. Can you ever look at the sun with darkness on your face? How are you going to look at the sun with darkness on your face? Not possible. If you're looking at the sun, that means to say your face bright, man, it is blemishless. Every spark of darkness has. What was spark of darkness? There seems to be speck of darkness. But see, nobody wants to pay until I tell, Nobody is thinking. That should every speck of darkness. In the very same way, nobody can turn to the Lord and still have sins on his person. That if he still has sins on his person and he still has to ask for forgiveness, that means he will really turn to Bhagwan. It is not possible to turn to the Lord and still have sins. This is the forgiveness in Hinduism. Please understand your religion. If you really want your sins forgiven, you just turn to the Lord 100% with body, speech and mind. Turn to Bhagwan. There will be nothing to be forgiven. Bhagwan will say, for what? Kaunteya, pratijanihi, you please announce to the world that my devotee will never perish. Mam hi partha vipashritya ye pischu papayonayaha. So I want to read this verse in the simplest of form. This verse says, see, people read this verse all how, and they make controversy. I tell you, where Bhagwan doesn't make controversy, human being, you put him there, he will make great controversy. There is a word here which comes, papayonayaha, sinners, those who are born from sinful wombs, right? And it is given in the first case plural. Because striyaha is given, women, is given in first case plural, then vaishyaha, vaishyas, means business people, first case plural. Shudraha, the laborers, they are given in first case plural. All of them are given in first case plural. They say that, this is the people who make couture, they say that this papayonayaha, this sinful womb, is an adjective to all of them. They are all 4 different categories. Those who are born from sinful wombs, women, Vaishya means business people, Shudra means laborers. All of them, Bhagwan says, they also come to me once they have devotion. The idea is, because the topic which was given just now is sinful people only. He's done the worst sin. So a person has done the worst sin, and in those days, people used to feel women wouldn't get moksha. People used to feel Shudras wouldn't get moksha. People used to feel Vaishyas wouldn't get moksha. Moksha is only for certain class of people. Bhagwan removing that wrong thought from people's mind. Everybody is entitled to moksha. And the categories where you feel is not entitled to moksha, Bhagwan said, no, that is only your feeling. I am telling that everybody is entitled to moksha. That is the idea. This is the interpretation of the verse, in simple interpretation. Other people only, they read in their own mind all kind of twisted interpretation. It's a very simple interpretation. He has named 4 categories. People say that one category is an adjective to the other 3. So it's really 3 categories. And so women are sinful, women will be sinful, Shudra will be sinful, and Vaishya will be sinful. They take sinful as adjective to all of them. That is called, what do you call? Demented mind. And people come and they ask me also, Swamiji, how Bhagavan Shri Krishna say women are sinful? Are you reading the verse? Wrong. He's talking about different categories of people. So one category is sinful people, one category is women, one category is Shudra, one category is Vaishya. People is to feel all of these people, they don't get moksha. Bhagavan says, no, all of them get moksha. Then he says in India, Kim punar brahmana punyaha bhaktaha rajashayastatha. Then what to talk about the pious brahmana who all his life is studying Vedas, who all his life is doing all the rituals, who all his life is studying Upanishad and Bhagavad Gita. What to talk about him? How quickly he will get moksha. Or the king who is a virtuous devotee of God. Anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvamam. Those people, anityam asukam lokam imam prapya bhajasvam. Those people who do not worship Bhagwan, they reach this type of world. World which is devoid of happiness, devoid of any permanence, means a fleeting world. They return to the world in which we are living here. So to avoid that, bhajasvama. And this next last verse of this chapter, don't worry, I will just tell you the meaning today, because this verse will be repeated verbatim in 18th chapter again. It will come down. Bhagwan likes this verse. Down in 18th chapter in 65, I think it might be. You could put a little note in your Gita there. It will come back there in 65, 1865. Manmana bhava madbhaktaha madhyajimam namaskuru. Then set your mind on me. Become a devotee of me. Make offerings to me. Do salutations to me. Namaskuru. Mam eva eshyasi. You will come on to me, Bhagavan says. Yuktva evam atmanam matparayanaha. I am the supreme goal. The Atma, the self of the whole universe. You will come, eshyasi, you will come to me. So keep your mind on me, worship me, do salutations to me. Like that, Bhagavan says. Yeah? And it will come again there. In other words, there in 1866, Bhagavan ends his teaching. Teaching of Bhagavad Gita ends in 1866. This comes at 65. So again it will come as the ending teaching. Pay attention to this verse. Keep your mind and all your attention on the Lord. Okay, that brings us to the end of chapter 9. He says, Om Tat Saditi Shrimad Bhagavad Gita Su Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastra Shri Krishna Arjuna Samvade Raja Vidya Raja Guhya Yogo Nama Navamaha Adhyayaha. It is the 9th chapter entitled Raja Vidya Raja Guhyam. It is a supreme knowledge, which is a supreme secret. Not because Bhagavan has hidden it from us, but because we ourselves don't pay attention to it. So it's a secret to us. Supreme knowledge, which is a supreme secret. Okay. So now, tomorrow, St. Mary's Muruga.